Yes.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, first time I'm doing this, by the way. So I expect me to make so many mistakes, but hopefully we can figure that out.
What do you mean first time? I thought you've done this before.
Yeah, but I was sitting on the opposite side hosting. So it's
Okay.
much more easier. You just ask question and then whatever they say, like you just have to ask the right questions. It's much more, I don't know, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, but this is I would feel like don't take this as more of an interview. Take this more of a conversation. I think we've had so many conversations already, so
Yeah,
let's keep it very free.
exactly.
Don't put any pressure on yourself.
Yeah,
But yeah, just to set context, so I've been thinking about how I want to go about this, and so just to set a little context, I wanted to have this conversation is because I've been trying to understand what it really actually means to build a creative sort of company in Dubai, right? Because for people who come
yeah,
to Dubai, they really don't know the cultural nuances. They don't know how to kind of go about setting up a business. They also don't, when you look at it from the outside perspective, it's all about success stories or great work when it comes to the portfolio, but very little do people talk about the challenges and the operational realities, right? When you talk about
yeah,
relationships, or you talk about the slow months that you're having, when you talk about how you scale teams as a creative agency in like a global economy like Dubai, even when you talk about cultural shifts, like you've been from India, and you talk about how different the culture is when you settle in a country like Dubai, even though it's like a mixed sort of economy with like diverse cultures. But again, you feel that cultural shift when you first start your business out here, and
yeah,
just essentially just decision making as a founder. Right. So
yeah.
I want to understand that, and how it then comes about building an entire sort of company or a production house in your case in Dubai. So I just wanted to start with a quick introduction about you, and then we can jump into the questions.
Okay. I mean, you know my name, so anyway, I'll introduce to whoever is watching.
Yeah.
I'm Naseef, founder of SOCL. We started SOCL in 2022. In couple of months, we will turn 4 years. When, but one thing which I wanted to also let you know that I've been in Dubai since 2015, early 2016.
Okay.
So first 6 years I was working full time. I was an engineer. When I was working full time, I also had opportunity to work with a couple of big brands like automotive brands and other big brands.
Okay.
Also with the networks which I had. So that's how I initially started my journey of content creation or
Okay.
production, and then things slowly shifted to what we are today.
So what made you take the leap from engineering, which is like a totally different field, to getting into creative?
One thing, like when I was taking studying engineering, I didn't know there was any other course like existed. I only knew that there was engineering or MBBS
Uh,
because my parents only gave me these two options,
okay.
like any typical brown family. So
Yeah.
that's how I became an engineer. But I don't regret, to be honest. Like engineering maybe probably didn't make me a better engineer, but I think it made me a better operations or
Yeah.
problem solver. So
Yeah.
that is what I believe. And when I told you, like because I was working in Abu Dhabi as an engineer,
Yeah.
my the work culture, everything was very monotonous. So I decided to join a couple of networking group. From those networking group, people started noticing the kind of things I was doing on my social media. That's how, like, one of the first opportunities came in. Like, they just saw what I was doing, and they
Right.
contacted me. It's by the way, basically from Jeep. So
Huh.
they contacted me, and then from there, things started. I was doing on this. I thought, okay, there is an opportunity and a potential thing where I can also work on.
Right.
And
So were you
then,
always passionate about like videography and like photography when you were doing engineering, and did that then translate into your career?
yeah, I used to travel. I used to do like a lot of solo traveling. So the best thing you could do is like take
Yeah.
picture, create great content. but I never thought I would be doing this full time, to be honest. Back in the day, I used to say, I won't do it. This is my passion. I'll stick to my passion.
Yeah.
But things have changed. So, yeah.
That in terms of creative education, do you think that people require a formal sort of approach to any sort of creative field, be it photography, videography, design, or do you still prefer working with people with an informal background where they don't approach like uh, education in creative aspects? They just come with an informal sort of approach.
Um, to be honest, personally, I feel like whoever has technical knowledge or education would
Yeah.
actually definitely add value. But one factor which I believe that the passion. So some people just do the course or study just for the sake of studying, like how I did engineering probably.
Yeah.
So rather, whoever does this with passion, that is what is most important, I believe. Like if there is no passion, there is no point. And
Mm.
one time I remember like someone was telling me like when I was doing something, one of my friend she was telling me, okay, you have a good eye on this, so you can do better.
Yeah.
So it's also the like what is your taste, what you see, how what is best for you. So I think like not everybody can do that also, even with
Right.
both technical knowledge or education or without
Yeah.
just practical.
Okay, so you're saying that in terms of just approach, it needs to be driven by passion, no matter what sort of field you're taking up. I mean, I agree to that.
Exactly.
I would also say that coming from engineering, you also have some sort of discipline, right? Because you're going through
Yeah.
years and years of like sticking to one thing, even though like you're not really into it, but yeah, you've stuck there and you get that same discipline to building that business.
Yeah. And also I believe like engineers are not getting paid at all. So probably, I mean, I decided not to stick to that because I mean, end of the day, we all are working,
Yeah,
hustling to earn some good money.
yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because engineers, I felt like because all these traditional formats of profession like MBBS, law, engineering, I felt like they over a period of time start getting paid well.
Probably like once you are senior, probably like after 10, 15 years, you would get. But I think like in creative field, if you're really good at your whatever you're doing, I
Yeah.
think like you can get how much an engineer earn after 10 years within the first 2 years. I have known people, I have friends who
Mm,
are earning more than an engineer who is area director, area sales manager, all of
yeah.
these people. So there are people who earns more, like content creators and videographers or creative heads.
Yeah, I would say like a business owner definitely, I mean, there's no limitation to how much you can keep earning, right? Because the more time you spend in bettering your craft or bettering, upskilling yourself in business, I think that's the whole game. Like if you're consistent, you get time to work on yourself, work on your business, and it just keeps growing further and further.
Yeah. And one thing, we need patience, but yeah,
Yeah,
that is the main thing.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Patience, yeah, on dull days, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, talking about Dubai, if we can go back a little and talk about when you started your journey in Dubai. Uh, Obviously, now Dubai has become like a very fast-moving creative economy, right? Like with so much investment going towards inviting creators to Dubai by the government. Uh, you see trends and you see clients and even budgets shifting quickly, right? From your experience, what do outsiders like when I came to Dubai, I had this big misunderstanding of how to set up a business in Dubai or how businesses actually function. Because, as I said, like from an outside perspective, it's very glamorous. But what is the one thing that people misunderstand most about building a creative company out here?
Okay. One thing which I understood, especially in UAE, in Dubai, is that like the first couple of works or big works projects will come through the person, people you know, your network.
Yeah.
Most of the people get through those first major breakthrough only through networks.
Hmm.
So it's best to like put a lot of effort in networking.
Hmm.
Initially, I was not, I was doing a couple of like I went to Toastmasters. just to free up my like brain and to make it more interact with other people. My
Yeah.
only idea was that I was there for 4 years. From there only, I started getting people noticing me and approaching me. Okay, let's do something, because
Hmm.
they also thought, okay, I can do something for them. Knowing people is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like there are people who are born and brought up here, expats.
Hmm.
So they have friends who they studied with. Probably they are in another company, a big brand which you want to work with. They're already a marketing manager or working in a marketing team or
Yeah.
however. So it's much more easier to know what are the requirements they have, what they are looking for. At least we can try to pitch, or when they have RFP, we will get also the requirement. If we
Yeah.
don't know, there is no, I don't know like how things happens in India, but we won't know like there is a requirement unless there is someone who actually comes and tell us.
Yeah.
So knowing people, I think like 50% of the work is done.
Right. It's interesting when you say that unless or until you know about an RFP, there's no possibility of working on it, which is true. But there is a big thing in India. I don't know if it exists out here also for creative companies, but in India, you can literally go and bribe people on the other end to pass on that RFP to
Mhm.
you, right? Does that also exist out here?
Um, I'm not sure how much it is in the marketing, this niche, but
Yeah.
there are people, there are things are happening. I mean, there are people who ask for like, okay, I need a cut so that
Right. Like
you will get the job.
approach, like where you
Commission,
commission.
commission. Exactly, exactly. I haven't. Just once, I think I had this experience, but
Hmm.
most of the times I didn't have. So I
Hmm.
don't know. I'm not the right person to comment a lot. I believe that I believe in, at least in this niche,
Hmm.
it's not that much,
Yeah.
because this is service, right? So probably, um, the person, whoever is giving the job, their
Hmm.
job is at risk, stake, if we don't deliver a good one.
Of
So
course.
people actually look at the portfolio a lot,
Yeah.
and also how the relationship is. So
So
the
is
communication,
more focus placed on the kind of work that you bring to the table or more towards relationship?
more towards, both, 50-50, I would
Okay.
say. Because one thing which I noticed, like if you start working with one person, one client, you don't want to change. In Dubai,
Hmm.
you don't, I mean, people rarely change. If things are
Yeah.
not working, it's really bad, then people change. Because one thing is, nobody has time. Even
Right.
if you onboard a new agency for
Yeah.
your brand, it takes like at least 2-3 months to for them to like understand how the communication, everything,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
to align with all of these. So, and first of all, these brand, the whoever decision maker, they don't have time to sit and shortlist each person.
Yeah.
So might as well they rather stick to the same person who already have, even the pricing is slightly higher. They
Hmm.
will try to stick to that because they save so much time and effort.
Yeah, also the risk factor I think becomes lower, right? Because you're working with the same person who knows, as you said, like if you're working with the same brand for years, then you already know their entire ecosystem. So coming and working with a brand with a new partner kind of increases the risk of the overall project because you're then
Yeah,
passing it on to someone who doesn't know about it. So then essentially that is what it is. I think the focus then lies on the relationship that you're building. Uh,
yeah.
versus like someone new coming in, but even though they have a better portfolio of work, I think it would be more aligned to work with someone where the risk is low.
Exactly, exactly.
Right. So when you started social, what problems were you actually trying to solve, and how has that problem evolved today? Like, were you when you're working with different clients, do you think that there are certain set of challenges that you were facing initially, and how
Mhm.
has that problem become different, or is the problem evolved, or is has the problem statement completely changed?
When we started social, our primary focus was on production, like video production. That is what
Yeah.
we were strong at. And also one thing which, as a business, like we need recurring clients. Without recurring clients, we won't be able to run a business, right?
Yeah.
That's how we slowly started having social media as well, or
Yeah.
in a small scale. So which actually supported our video production or any other major projects which we do.
Yeah.
Um, so when we were doing like video production, the primary focus was to deliver good quality project, which will
Hmm.
also impact their business or whatever KPIs they have. Just not just randomly create, because
Yeah.
we always check and understand and identify what each content is actually based on, and how it is being made, or
Yeah.
who is the target audience, or whatever KPI it is. Um, and right now, one thing which I notice is that the problem statement, as in like it's more of that just creating. They
Okay.
need things to be gone out there,
Hmm.
and they need the clients need it like ASAP. Like everything has to be taken and immediately it has to go online. If
Yeah.
it is not online, people yeah, it's the mentality right now. That is kind of challenging. So just evolving the whole process and system to accommodate that request is the hardest thing at the moment. Before
So
we never had.
yeah. Sorry, you was I cut you off. You.
Yeah, that's what we before we never had that scenario. I
Yeah.
mean, we used to have, but it's much more. The pace is like really high at the moment.
Right. And when you talk about, like, as you said, like meeting deadlines, right? Strict deadlines, since you're working with multiple across multiple industries, and I'm sure like deadlines are really ridiculous because when you're dealing with agencies, it's like I need it today, right? So do you have any sort of workflows or processes where your team, because you're working on multiple projects and multiple across multiple industries at the same time, do you have like a workflow or a process that you follow where your team doesn't uh, the structure of your team doesn't break or the delivery process doesn't break, everything still goes out?
We use a project management tool called Monday.com.
Okay.
So all our work happens there, and we assign and we make sure that whoever is the task owner, or like the whoever has to do that,
Yeah.
been informed properly with proper brief and deadline, everything.
Mm.
And one thing which we do without fail is that every day in the morning we sit on a call for like 15 to 30 minutes, 15 minutes, not more than 15 minutes with the team, to list the task for the day,
Hmm.
so that we understand what is there happening for that particular day, so
Hmm.
that the project team, the project lead, and the sales team also can understand, okay, how much we have work, and
Yeah.
accordingly we commit to the deadlines.
Got it.
So if you think so, most of the times we have around like 5 to 6 editors. So most of the time we have room to like take new requests,
Hmm.
but we usually never have requests coming in saying, okay, we need to deliver tomorrow. In that case, we straight up say no.
Okay.
Okay. But at least we have a week, at least 4 to 5 days minimum, and to
Right.
keep. So in that case, we usually have the bandwidth to plan it accordingly and
Okay.
assign the team, whatever is the size of the project. And
Right.
by the time, right now, we know, okay, each project need how long, I mean, the time required to complete each project. So accordingly, we cost it. We even like give the pricing to the client, and also we plan it internally as well.
And in terms of your team structure, do you have any sort of hierarchy? Like one project requires three people, so this is the sort of hierarchy I'll follow, or is it free flowing where any project, because they have the same sort of capabilities, anyone can take up any project at any time?
Um, we don't have a written hierarchy, but right now everybody, we are a very small team. We are like 12 people, and in
Hmm.
the creative side, just 10 people.
Okay.
Otherwise, like it's project management, business development. Okay, so it's just 10 people with 6 editors, which we mostly
Right.
do video editing, right? So we know like who can do this particular style
Hmm.
and who does most like efficiently, or what is everyone's style basically.
Right.
So each person right now, the priority for each person is certain style of a video.
Hmm.
And if it is a social media short form content, there are a couple of people who are really good at that. So they do it. So if it is a TVC or film production, that scale of video, there is one or two person who does that. And if
Hmm.
it is documentary, there are a couple of other team members who can also do.
Hmm.
So according to the workload, who is free during that time, we
Hmm.
assign. But then, as I mentioned, like we have kind of like not written, but kind of we have an understanding between each one.
Hmm.
This is his strength, and this is what that person likes. So we try to give them the priority when those kind of project comes. And if they are busy, then we go to the second person.
Okay. Got it. And in you mentioned that I think some moments back you mentioned that it can like you when it comes to slow time because Dubai is very seasonal, right? Some months will have like extreme amount of work. Even like I would say any sort of environment you're working in, when it comes to the creative industry, that it's very seasonal. Like there are times where it's ridiculous amount of work, and then there are slow days. So do you feel
Yeah.
the tension, or I would say like now
Yes.
you've been into the industry for quite some time, but when you were starting out, did you feel the tension in the start? And
Oh
if
yeah.
like because you're accountable for profitability and payrolls, right? So how did you balance that tension?
Um, to be honest, if you ask me how, I have no idea. But just I think I just went with the flow. But it is. I recently went to Bangalore, and I was just asking, what is the season? How's the season like?
Yeah,
Season? I mean, we don't have any season. I
yeah,
was surprised to hear that, but I think only in Dubai or maybe in GCC that happens, because during
yeah,
summer it is very slow because nobody's here. Everybody's traveling.
yeah.
Decision making doesn't happen. And during winter, especially during the beginning of the year, things are really fast because everybody wants to make a decision,
Hmm.
wants to start a campaign or do that, do this. So it's super busy, so we have to manage that super busy period. Sometimes there are point where I was like, we were like at shoot or something like for straight 48 hours,
Yeah.
start and maybe sleep for 2 hours and then go to the next one and come back, drive. So all of these were there as well. But in the early days, to be honest, like at some point I would just think, okay, is this the right thing which I'm doing?
Hmm.
Today is a very slow day, or
Hmm.
this couple of months has been really slow. What should we do? What, I mean, and end of the day, like the cash flow, we
Yeah.
have to pay a salary. So yeah, it's a tough time, to be honest. Like somehow I managed to overcome that. How I did it, to be honest, I don't know.
So when there were slow months and say like there were times where obviously as you said Dubai is a very seasonal time. So there months where you decided, okay, I'm going to manage like the payroll because I have to maintain payroll, and I know that 3 months down the line is when I will be getting my second project, or 1 month down the line. For that 1 month, did you make that decision of reducing overheads, or did you think that okay, no, I'm going to dig into my own sort of pocket and pay these guys, and I'll survive for a month, and then we are
Mm.
good to go again.
I to be honest, like in most of the times I did the second part. Like we took whatever savings I had and invested back when it
Okay.
was slow period, because I was sure that like we will be able to get more projects in the busy period. But it
Yeah.
was just a call we had to make. But also there was a time we had to like let go people,
Hmm.
because we were not able to. I was not seeing those people can add. No, the projects, we lost couple of projects on the
Hmm.
time, and then I wasn't sure that whether we will be able to like have similar kind of projects. So I couldn't. I had to let go. But
Okay.
when it comes to like situation, we are certain we are in a situation right now. Since the beginning, I think we somehow have one or the other thing like recurrently, like it
Right.
comes in. Yeah.
So you know that, okay, on a monthly basis, this is the sort of payroll I can expect, and that helps you also plan how many
Yeah.
people you can hire in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then, I mean, if you're comfortable sharing, what sort of agency margin do you maintain on any sort of payroll? Like when you get a project fees, uh, what is the markup that you maintain and that stays consistent, or does it differ from project to project?
It's usually okay. So there are a couple of scenarios. So depending on each scenario, we make a decision. So in an ideal scenario, I would say at least minimum
Hmm.
35% as margin,
35?
as the 35
35, okay.
35 percentage, and in a really good scenario, direct cost would be 35 percentage
Hmm.
as margin. That
Hmm.
is our target. I don't know, like if we haven't reached there, to be honest, but that
Yeah,
is our goal. Only
yeah,
then, this I'm talking about direct cost. Only then we will be able to like pay for all the bills and whatever overheads or
yeah,
any cost we have.
yeah.
So in an ideal scenario, our target is 35 percentage as our direct delivery cost.
Okay. And I actually have a follow-up question. It's quite on the interesting lines where I'm sure you might have faced this because you're working with multiple personalities, right? And every client has some sort of personality attached to them. So when you're working with these clients, how do you know that it's not going to end up to the project failing? Like, how do you gauge that, okay, this is the right sort of client I want to work with, and this is he or she
Mhm.
is aligned with the expectations I have, and vice versa? Because usually sometimes clients take, while you're maintaining your margins, clients take up a lot of your time, right? And your deliverables increase. So what is the kind of expectation that you have, and how do you manage that with any client?
Um, because we are in a service industry, that is the hardest thing I think we have to do also. It's
Yeah,
always like they believe that, okay, it's kind of a help. Ah, okay, you're doing this, let's do this.
yeah,
But that is our time and our expertise, our product basically, right?
yeah,
So most of the clients doesn't understand that. Um, one thing one thing which I believe or I understand is that when you are in a position where you have the ability to say no,
mm,
is only when you will be able to say no. Otherwise, like in the early stage, I used to never say no
okay,
because I was like trying to also meet the end of the month, like as I said, like cash flow, all of these. Then I was thinking both emotionally and also both practically. So it was a very tough call. But what happened, like gradually, I also learned because for me,
yeah,
I this is my first time I'm being an entrepreneur or starting a business. I have never
yeah,
had any experience before, so I didn't know how to deal with these kind of things. Later, I realized, okay, over the period of time, I came to know and how I figured out how to do it. But
yeah,
right now, we literally tell people if something is not working or if deliverables, like if you're not able to keep the boundary, we tell
yeah,
them straight up, see, this is a scenario. I don't think we will be able to work. We have to discontinue or whatever it is.
okay,
If it is a project, we know like certainly like, okay, these are the deliverables. We put everything in the quote or invoice or contract,
yeah,
whatever we anything extra they ask, we'll tell, okay, this is extra. So because it is written
yeah,
and we won't consider anything which already confirmed,
mm,
we only even start the project once we receive an advance payment,
yeah.
everything is done, only then we start.
But
Otherwise,
is it just a financial alignment where if your client is having a certain set of expectations, only does that align with you financially, or is there an emotional quotient also that, okay, this is not the kind of person I want to work?
right. I think like if you look at like that emotional quotient and kind of like understand if that person gel with us, I don't think we will be able to work with anyone. Not
Yeah.
everybody will like us, and
Yeah.
not everybody we will. But there are scenarios where these people are really bad, then we have to let them go, or
Right.
they will be whatever it is. But it's end of the day, it's financial.
Mm,
So if we keep that boundary, both financially and our deliverables and personal life, then
mm.
I think rest of the things will fall in place well, like emotional quotient, everything is gonna be right.
Got it. And what mindset shift is required for, like, firstly, one question is that when you're working in like an environment like Dubai, right? What mindset shift is required when someone new is coming to the country? Like, because everyone's wired differently when it comes to culture. So when you're dealing with clients in the UAE, what sort of shift do you need to put in place to be able to work with them?
Um, I don't know, will I be able to answer this in the right way because I didn't come and started social like from India and started immediately. I was here for 6 years and
Yeah.
then I started. So I'll tell you in this perspective, which might
Yeah.
help. So because I was in Dubai for in UAE, I was in Abu Dhabi first and then moved to Dubai. So UAE for 6 years. I knew people how the things work here. Let's say, for example, as you mentioned, like the culture and the dynamics, the hierarchy, and even the kind of expats who work here. And also, there are things like in this part of the town, on you can
Hmm.
only find in South Asians, or in this part of town you can only find Keralites,
Yeah.
or in this part of Dubai you can only find people from like a UK, or this actually is there, like it's very evident.
Yeah.
Can you see me? Can you hear? Okay.
You're
So
breaking.
this thing is
Yeah, sorry. Now you're good.
okay. So this is this you won't understand if you're moving from India and like start doing your business here,
Yeah.
because you also have a certain mindset or you certain goals you have to achieve.
Yeah.
So to achieve those goals, you have to be at the right place. So let's say, for example, if you want to work with a fashion brand, there is no point of going to somewhere in Alnada or Kisais.
Yeah.
Okay, because no fashion brands will be there. If you want to work with cafes and restaurants, probably you can find so many people there.
Hmm.
Okay, so all of these things you will only understand once you live here. So that
Yeah.
is one thing people might, you can't read it anywhere. You can't, even if you go to Reddit and try to understand, it's not
Yeah.
easy to get it, but you have to go through the experience of understanding it. And one more thing also, which I mentioned earlier, right? The people who are already born and brought up here, they know the stuff better.
Yeah.
Like they know what's happening, how the city, the country has evolved. All of these things are very normal for them. Hello,
So
did you hear me?
also is that true also for newcomers coming here for jobs? Because I've heard that when someone is trying to apply, like when I was in India, a lot of people said that we want to try for opportunities in Dubai, but people in Dubai, like their family or their friends who they had in Dubai, they said that you have to come to Dubai, stay there, then go and meet people, and only then will you be able to secure a job. You cannot do it online, like you cannot apply cross
That's
market. So is that the
that's
reason
true.
I'm saying that you have to understand the culture staying here and then only be able to build that relationship with people?
Um, in terms of job, I don't believe that is true,
Hmm.
because I mean, first time when I didn't know anything, I just came for 2 months and then I found a job.
Okay.
The reason why being here when you're trying to find a job is that people will request for interviews, like they want to actually meet in person before making any decision.
Okay.
That is like 90% of the time you have to do it, because one thing is that there is so much cost involved in the person when you
Hmm.
hire a person, right? So
Yeah.
people, it's not a small amount, it's a big amount.
Yeah.
So people won't take a chance unless they are very sure about the person. so
Got
that they can come, whatever. So that is the primary reason. They just want to meet the person and do it, because also it's a very fast-paced city, right?
Yeah.
So what happens, like if you have someone in India and then have an interview online, and you can't ask them to like come like physically, and then it takes like at least 2 to 3 weeks or even more, and
Yeah.
nobody has that time to do it. So that is
Yeah.
one problem.
So you're saying that people have to actually not probably stay here, but come here, at least be in the country when they are looking for jobs.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
So
see, this is one thing. A lot of people and a lot of my cousins were like asking me this question. So in CV, you have to put your photo in UAE,
because it makes the
and
person like look at you and understand who you are.
exactly. I mean, in a way, people will judge by how you look in the CV
But don't they
and
have
how you look.
to wear how you dress up? And I mean, I've gone for these pictures, and they put you on like in a suit, and that is I've seen 90% of the resumes with people looking like that. So how is that different?
Yeah, that's what like it's just that is the easiest way for anybody who's applying to be looking like in a good way. But this the thing is that like it matters how you look outside
Yeah,
than what you have inside,
yeah.
unfortunately. So that is why that is why people are asking to put photos.
That also actually gets another question in my mind where you spoke about, because this adds some layer of it being superficial, right? And I've seen that in Dubai, things are very superficial. Like gone for all these networking events where people show up and they talk a certain way, and they behave a certain way, they dress a certain way, and I feel like it's quite superficial compared to how other networking events are. Like we also met at that Browning networking event.
Yeah,
The reason that stood
yeah.
out,
It was
yeah. Sorry, you were saying something?
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, so the reason that stood out is because that focused more on building connection in like a very intimate setting where you discuss everything about the other person. Whereas other networking events I've been to are very transactional. Like, okay, this is what I do, here's my business card, and see you in, like, even I wouldn't say how it is like on a weekly basis with BNI, but when I went for that event where it was I think they were celebrating, I think 50 years or something, where they had like
Mhm.
everyone, all the members of BNI come under one roof. There also it was like
Expo,
sorry.
Expo.
Expo, yes. So where they shuffled through multiple people in like 5-minute conversations. So I don't know, like I feel like there is some layer of it being superficial. So I want to understand why that is. Like, why is Dubai so superficial when it comes to connecting with people? Like, even when you try to find friends as expats, there is the connection is very transactional. It's not.
Mhm.
I don't know what this is. It's very
I think it's
transactional.
probably
Yeah.
yeah.
So how do you settle down in Dubai? Like if you're looking at someone who's coming from a new country to settle long term, how do you make it feel like home?
I mean, that's a question I'm trying to find answer to as well.
You
Because I
feel it
mean,
too?
100%, I feel it too. Because I have my friends, who we study together. They are the close friends I have.
Yeah.
Um, but again, when they are busy, we rarely meet.
Okay.
Or so what happens, like me and my wife usually have this conversation. We have another set of friends as well. We usually
Yeah.
hang out with.
Yeah.
This is one thing to right now, especially in Dubai, if you want to keep relation or
Yeah.
if you want to build relation, you have to put effort. If you don't put effort, you
Yeah.
can also complain that, okay, um, you're not getting friends, having friends. Or
Yeah.
probably anyone who's after 28 when you're not going to, or you're working or whatever, that's probably the scenario.
Yeah.
But the whole setup, it's for me, I find it really hard to make friends at work. I don't know
Okay.
why, but that's
Yeah.
what I feel personally.
Yeah.
It's even if I try hard to make or try to understand, but it's how my brain works. Probably that is
Yeah.
probably my fault also. I don't say that it's a fault of the city, but a lot of people are like that in the city. So probably it's also how the
Is it
city
because
is.
like people come to Dubai only with like a certain mindset, only certain goals, and it's more about achieving those goals rather than coming and probably focusing on like probably making friends or building more in-depth relationships. So I
Yeah,
think like it's a very goal-focused city.
exactly. Exactly. That's probably, I mean, the reason why we are in Dubai is to like earn money.
Yeah,
So to earn more money, we hustle. So probably in that journey, we forget to do all of the other stuff.
right. So, but that still doesn't, I still don't understand why that layer of it being superficial exists. Why do people show up a certain way? Is this because people like when you're dealing with like enterprise level people, do they only respect the fact that okay, this person has made it a certain at a certain point in his life, and that's why I'm going to talk and entertain him? Like even when networking events, like some of the networking events I've been to, when you're talking to that person about your business, you already know that person forming a impression about you real time while talking to them. Whereas
Yeah,
it doesn't happen like when you're dealing with someone from a South Asian culture, right? They are very
yeah.
conversation flows very organically, but when you're dealing with other cultures, it feels like okay, this is very transactional. So why does that
I
exist?
think I think it's regardless of the culture and where they're from. In Dubai, that's how it is, especially at networking. I think you
Yeah.
pay a certain amount to attend any networking event.
So you
So
want
when
to
you
make
go, make the most out of it. That is one thing. And
okay.
nothing is free in Dubai. Like even if you have to,
Yeah.
I mean, even air, I would say like in a way it's not free. We are paying every year
Yeah.
what we breathe. So it's kind of like everything is paid. Every
Yeah.
single thing is paid. So you have to make the most out of it. Probably that's the reason why it has become more transactional, I believe.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know, it's my opinion, personal opinion.
Right. No, that kind of makes sense. I would also agree that it is to do with some amount of the cultural difference. But like I always wonder, like, because I've been to so many networking events, so I see a very massive difference in a certain set of people versus another set of people. And I've sometimes feel like as newcomers, that can be a little overwhelming when you're entering the
Mhm.
market and you have to go for so many events and you're meeting with people who, because you don't look a certain way or because you don't behave a certain way, you're automatically eliminated from that bracket. So I
Exactly. But I think this scenario which you mentioned was more evident and it was a lot more before.
Yeah.
There has been a shift in this scenario, but I don't know how much. But what you mentioned is still there, but
Okay.
before it was a lot more.
I
Like
think now because of so
you
many
can't
people,
even imagine.
I think so
Yeah,
many people coming into Dubai, I think that is shifting gradually.
yeah. And right now, like people also understand what is real and what is not.
Yeah.
So even if you like dress in a certain way and go and then talk or like pitch or close the project, and after 2 months they will come to know, okay, this is what.
Yeah.
So um, yeah, I mean it's very evident right now. It's a lot more like that. Before, I think even if you have a good accent, you can literally close a project and you can make huge amount of money. But
Yeah.
right now, it's not the case, I believe. People
Hmm.
are more realistic and people look at um, practical stuff.
Yeah. And so that is about the culture, but when you talk about like mistakes as a founder, I think let's go back to your time at social and you building your business. So what is the one mistake that you made that you remember about that ultimately changed how you run the company and eventually, like when you every time you want to improve, you go back to that mistake in retrospect, and you think, okay, this is not what I want to repeat. I'm only going to grow from here. So what is that one
Okay.
thing that comes to your mind?
So the one thing which like keeping the books proper. I mean,
Okay.
that is the one thing. One thing not proper. When I meant by proper, for example, as an entrepreneur, end of the day, numbers matters. So be it like your expenses, incomes, or whatever, even planning ahead is the most
Yeah.
important thing. So doing it from day one, I didn't know, I didn't have that knowledge to make it in a certain way, which is as per the industry standards or whatever. I was just doing it with the very basic layman terms.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, at some point, I was thinking I was doing good.
Okay.
But in reality, I was actually kind of bleeding money, or I was
Okay.
putting money from my pocket or whatever.
Okay.
Only when it came in more structured and keeping my personal finance separate and company finance separate and having that discipline was
Yeah.
the, I think that is like a big shift in how we did things. And
Okay.
we started restructuring our pricing, and also so many things happened only after I had a proper accounting and proper books, and also
Right.
analyzing all of these.
Yeah, I think that's because, I mean, if you merge your personal and your professional, you don't really know as to how much growth you're actually having in terms of finances, right? And
Yeah.
honest, to be very honest, I'm facing that challenge right now, where I don't really know if I'm making money or losing money while
Yeah.
running the agency.
Recently I took a accountant,
Okay.
and I'm like, okay, your role is to ask me questions.
Okay.
I mean, don't think that you're working for social. You might as well like making me accountable is your primary responsibility.
Okay.
So right now, like every transaction I have, he's like, okay, why? And I
Okay.
have to answer. And that is like I'm answering him in a way like I'm also answering myself. So
Ah,
that is one thing. To be honest, I personally like when people actually question me for doing certain things, because then I believe that okay, they are also thinking of growing social.
yeah.
So that is one character or one attitude which I love within our team.
But does that mean that because you've bifurcated your personal and your business expenditure separately, does that mean that you then draw a salary every month so that you don't get questioned for
Yeah.
your personal expenses?
I This is also one thing which I wasn't doing in the beginning. I
Hmm.
wasn't drawing a salary. For example, like even I might be taking or moving money from here and there, or maybe I was spending from my own pocket, but there
Yeah.
was no proper tracking. So right now, I'm like from last year or the year before, I'm drawing salary every month.
Hmm.
So only then I can have my personal expenses controlled, at the same time company expenses controlled. So I strictly take my salary every month, and I don't take anything extra from the company. Everything what is left will stay at company so that we can grow the company as well.
And then
At least, yeah, for now.
no matter what happens on the personal front, you do not go back to your business. Uh,
Yeah,
ex- okay.
yeah.
Got it. And how does that help you define what success actually looks like? Is it just monetary for you that, okay, if I meet a certain number financially, that is what success looks like to my agency? Or is it also to do with the culture, the kind of people you're working with? Does it flow organically, linearly, in a linear manner, or does it only mean that, okay, I have to meet, say, for example, 1 million dirhams a year? Is that my goal every year? Or do I look at other aspects of the agency as well? For example, if you set like workflows and that workflows results in getting more clients, does that also look like success? What is your definition of success?
For me, like building a good one of the best agencies is practice. How do you like measure that? Which probably I'm figuring out. But for me, I feel more happy when we are known for what we are doing. Let's say, for example, there are several brands. If you know, like Talented
Mm-hmm.
in India, they are
Yeah.
really good. Like I love their work. So for me, like I want to become or social to be like something like that.
Okay.
Revenue, work process, clients, everything is byproducts.
Okay.
And also to make that kind of brand or that kind of an agency, you need people who has the same vision and who are really creative and who are ready
Yeah.
to join in that journey. Okay, so when I say like you have to look at the finance, because only then if you have enough money, you will be able to have that kind of people in your team.
Yeah.
So it's all together, like it's all linked each other.
Yeah.
End of the day, if you want to reach your goal, which I mentioned, like for me, I want to become one of the best agencies people are talked about. But
Yeah.
to have that, we have to have a really strong finance
Right.
like backup. So only then we will be able to reach there. If we don't have that money, people won't stay with us. We won't be able to attract that kind of talents
Yeah.
because service is all about the people who are inside.
Yeah. And is there a timestamp to it? Like by this year, I want to make it. Like this is the kind I want to become the best agency. For example, like say 10 years, 5 years. What is your timestamp to that?
Okay, so right now, for example, last year, we want to take our agency in a certain level. Let's say, for example, we had a target of doing a couple of projects, like interesting projects. We want
Yeah.
to do that, and we want to make ourselves happy. So in
Yeah.
that was the primary goals which we had last year. We were
Yeah.
able to achieve that. So that was the number one goal. So now we have again like similar goal. We want to work on this number of creative projects. It can be through clients, it can be through our own projects.
Yeah.
So these we why we put these numbers on these measurable numbers, only then we will be able to reach this number of being one of the best.
Okay.
Um, if you ask me in what when you want to become one of the best, I don't know, but I don't
Mm.
know what does it mean by being the best,
Right.
or that
What do you
is a
think, like,
very
in your terms, what I understand as being the best means the kind of work that you do needs to be firstly creatively
yes,
satisfying to yourself and also then be
exactly.
talked about in front of other people.
Exactly. When see the I hope you know the agency video which we did.
Yeah.
So the kind of like appreciation which we were getting was actually huge. So
Oh,
after that, the kind of mindset shift we had within myself, within our team, and everything was a big difference. And that actually helped us in attracting more clients and
mm.
more business as well. So it's all linked together. So yeah, for us, like we focused on creating great stuff and
Mm.
rest followed.
Okay. So yeah, that's essentially it. So like your success metric is okay, I want to be able to do good work. I think like many creative agencies who are the leadership only wants to do good work. Like even for talented that you spoke about, they have a parallel leg to that called the new thing. If you know about that agency, it's their social leg. So
Mhm.
that agency mainly focuses on being funny on the internet, and it's crazy because the kind of content they do is really funny, and it's very much on the same ecosystem of the talented. uh, so
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's at the end of the day for any creative person is to be creative, right? And we do this
Yeah.
as a medium to do creative. Business is just one side of things. So I read this thing, I think we also discussed it previously, the difference between being a maker and a manager. So how much do you miss being creative while being a manager versus when you were actually hands-on working on projects?
Okay. Um,
Sorry, was I audible?
right now,
Did you hear
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I could. Right now, I'm less of a creator than a manager,
Okay.
but I think I also evolved in what I'm doing. Also, I believe. Um, but that is also helping in a way, because right now that we have the team who are capable of doing things their own, and an extra eye who can actually like question them and ask them like, okay, if you're planning this way, what is the outcome? Or if you're planning this way, how are we going to execute, or whatever. So these kind of questions I can ask them because I have been through that process,
Yeah.
and I know like how practically and other how things will be being done. So being able to ask questions is what I'm doing now rather than creating. So that I believe like right now I have, because I'm able to do that, it's actually adding more value to the team, and they're also coming
Yeah.
up with ideas. I'm also giving the ownership of coming up with ideas and doing stuff. It's
Yeah.
just that after everything or between the during the process, I ask questions, which will make them more how do I say, they will come up. It's like the questions they might have asked themselves, but they might have missed it during
Yeah.
the process, because
So you
as
keep
a
it
creative,
open,
sometimes
open brainstorming, like, okay, you get these challenges, like everyone put the challenges out on the table and then everyone gets to solve it.
exactly,
Right. That's actually a good way. Even we follow that at Alter, where I just keep it open. And sometimes when you're working hands-on on any project, what I've realized is creative people usually get lost in that process. So these questions, they tend to ignore it, even though they might have it at the back of their head. They tend to ignore it because they want to get the work out. So
exactly,
just opening it out there for everyone helps them like rechannel their energy into focusing on how to solve these challenges for themselves and for other people who want to support them.
exactly.
So what I mean, that also talks about uh, when you talk about skills you should have as a creative professional, right? And so what is one advice you would like to give like young creatives who are entering the industry right now? I don't know if we are at that level of giving advice because we are also pretty,
Exactly.
but
Yeah, we are also learning.
you or not advice, but what would you tell young creators to focus on if they want to stay relevant for the next 5 years?
um okay, so keep learning. I mean, you have to keep learning, which is very obvious. Like everything changes every day or
Yeah.
every week. You never know, like things are keep changing.
Yeah.
Second thing is the attitude, I believe.
Okay.
So being creative and not being able to work in a team
Yeah.
is very hard.
Yeah.
So as end of the day, like in an agency, or even if you're working as a freelancer, you can't work alone. You need a team to work with. So having that attitude to collaborate with others is the most important thing, I believe. If
Yeah.
you have that attitude and if you have that ability, it's the person, whoever it is, like they will be able to learn for sure.
Yeah.
Just need to put some effort. Some people, it happens automatically. For some people, they might require more effort.
Yeah.
But if they don't have the right attitude and they are very creative, but it's hard to sustain
Yeah.
because it's a teamwork end of the day.
Of course. Yeah. Because I mean, not one person can do everything, right? Uh,
Yeah,
Even though some time back it was like sort of a generalist economy where people used to work with people with multiple skill sets. Now it's become, what I've noticed, it's become more vertical. Like people want to work with experts. So
hmm,
working with experts then require you to work with different sort of experts to get one project out. So yeah.
exactly. Just imagine like all the experts might have ego, or they're like, okay, this is how I work. I can't work with you. So
Yeah.
things won't move, right? So
Yeah.
it's just about like finding the right balance and complementing each other. So
So have you
I
ever
have
encountered
seen,
that?
yeah, I have seen a couple of things, like even we had in our team, like this is how I work.
Hmm.
So either you have to change things in that way. No, I mean, we have a system already, so things
Yeah.
should work in our system. So
Okay.
if it is not happening, it's best that we don't go together, work together. So
Hmm.
yeah, that both of us had realized, and we had to take a decision that time.
Right. And so you're saying that your systems that and workflows and processes that you put, everyone needs to kind of align to that before getting on with the project.
Yeah.
Okay. And you also mentioned like emphasis on learning, right? While I believe that, and we also kind of focus big on learning. You also mentioned that things are changing every 1 year, every 6 months, like with now the AI boom coming in. I read the other day there's Claude bot, right, where everything is kind of
Yeah.
automated, it takes care of everything. So, what would you say about AI? Like when people say that AI is changing the creative industry, agencies are going to be out of jobs, that AI is going to be able to do everything. Do you see AI as like a threat, or do you see it as a tool to support your day-to-day activities?
I believe like AI is going to support.
Okay.
AI can be a threat if you're not using any of the AI tools which is available at the moment.
Okay.
Uh, but altogether, I also, if you notice that the numbers of content which is coming out, I
Yeah.
don't think if AI just come together and start creating, they will be able to deliver all the numbers of content which is there out there.
Yeah.
So AI is there. That also requires infrastructure, right? I don't think we have that infrastructure at the moment. And
Mm.
how many content or how many videos you can generate at the
Mm.
moment. Even if at some point it might increase, but the kind of things humans can do, AI can't reach there. I mean, we've been telling this scenario where AI will be taking control of everything.
Mm.
To be honest, personally,
Mm.
um, I don't believe. If you think very practically, you might feel like this could happen, but
Mm.
somewhere now I feel like no, humans are much more. I mean, we are very intelligent, and we will find a solution to like
Yeah.
whatever problem we have. Then, yeah,
I think
it's
also,
it's
even I personally don't believe AI would automate everything. I think eventually there might be AI operators who do like tasks based on technical aspects, like be it like a software controller or be like a project controller.
mm,
That part of the project you can automate, but then everything creative, like if you take design, if you take production, if you take any sort of creative profession, it's based on like a human insight, and to gather the
yeah,
insight, what our job is as creative professionals, right? Any
it's
project we work
exactly
on is based on that human insight. So I don't think gathering that human insight is something that AI can do. So I feel
yeah,
like
and emotion
emotion.
like AI doesn't have any emotion, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, just one thing. When now we have more, I have prayer.
Sorry, yeah, I just have two more questions, and then we can
Okay.
wrap it up. So yeah,
Okay.
one question is, what advice would you give another founder that you had gotten earlier from any of your mentors? And the second question is, what keeps you excited about, as we mentioned, as we spoke about so many things, and clearly there is a passion for you working in this creative industry, which led you to getting into this profession and now eventually building a business. So what still keeps you excited about this industry, despite how fast this industry is changing?
Okay. I don't know if I'm the right person to give advice to some founders, but whoever is starting business, I
Yeah.
mean, just one thing which I made a mistake initially was like not having very, very disciplined books.
Okay.
So from day one, or not even day one, minus how many days, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever they do, like keep proper track of it. It will eventually help you a lot. I never had anyone telling me that.
Mm.
So I learned it from my mistake. And what excites me the most, I don't know, I think like I get excited when I'm really busy.
Mm.
So when there are so many things happening, I get excited. Again, like I think it's how it is, like especially for any founders, it's going to be the scenario. But right now, what I focus is on like try to create good stuff,
Yeah.
creative stuff. Um, there are like I think 75% of the time we do boring stuff, but at least I want to focus 25% on the good stuff.
Hmm.
So when we do that, we are actually aligned with all our goals, like internally
Yeah.
within our team and as social as well. So that is one thing which I am focusing on at the moment.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I've kind of asked you so many questions, but
Hope I made sense. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
Like
I mean, I
it's kind
think
of
it was a very natural conversation, not nothing different than so many other conversations that we've had about business and stuff.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
glad that you took out the time and you decided to
Th-
connect and make this happen.
Thank you, man. Thank you for like choosing me also. Like,
Thanks a lot, yeah. But
I mean, we
we will.
have talked on this so much.
Sorry, you broke up in between.
No, I'm saying like we were talking about this over the call whenever we meet like so many times, but
Yeah,
this was a very different perspective
yeah.
and take. But yeah, it's interesting.
But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this one
Yeah,
of our conversation.
perfect. I think this is a great I mean structure or format you can follow as well. I think this is very interesting. And probably people who watches this will learn
Yeah.
stuff.
Hopefully, that's the goal. I think it solves a big problem that even I had personally. That when I came here, I noticed a lot of cultural difference, and I feel like with this, I want to bridge the gap or at least give some direction to people coming here. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, so hopefully it should work. Let's see.
Okay, let's see.
But thanks,
Okay.
Steve. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time also. Have a good day.